So I just finished watching the Demon Slayer movie, and I wanted to get out a spoiler-free review for you while it has just come out, give my thoughts and some criticisms without spoiling any major moments of the story, which there are many. Hey everyone, I'm Wheeze. I do anime content and sometimes other random stuff. Subscribe if you like me and anime stuff. I will be doing a spoiler review of this movie next week to talk in detail about the specific parts of the movie, so if you're interested, you can watch that next week. On with the video. First, is the movie good? Yes, it is a solid movie worth watching. Okay, cool, video done. Seriously, how do people do long, spoiler-free reviews on movies? What's there to talk about? So this movie picks up directly after the first season of Demon Slayer. Tanjiro, Nezuko, Zenitsu, and Inosuke are all tasked to help the Flame Hashira, Hashira being the highest level members of the Demon Slayer Corps, on the Mugin train where people have been disappearing. So they board the train, and because this is a story, everything goes horribly wrong. While this does take canonical place in the plot, I don't think that Demon Slayer is that complicated of a story to enjoy this movie, even if you haven't seen season 1. It would be a good watch for someone not sure if they wanted to watch the entire anime, because the show has a pretty consistent feel and quality throughout, and the movie is no exception. Obviously, you're going to understand it better if you have seen season 1, but I don't think it's a needed prerequisite, as they explain everything you need to know well enough, but they don't take that much time on it as to make it annoying for fans of the anime. Also, I should mention this movie is rated R. I don't really know why. The language is very light. This isn't for the dub, this is for the subtitled version. There is some swearing, but nowhere near what deserves an R rating. There's absolutely no sexual content, so we are left with the violence, which was a lot tamer than the anime. There's blood and gore and a lot of it, but there was never anything that was like, okay, this is what got its R rating. And they didn't even show some of the most gruesome moments that they could have gone into more detail for. So if you were worried about content, there's a lot of blood and gore, but nothing that ever made me feel squeamish. And if you've seen the anime, it's not as bad as the anime. Story-wise, it's a solid and emotional story. However, a bit predictable, which would be its main detractor. Despite that, it still executed each moment amazingly. The things I realized I love from Demon Slayer is the concept of the demon's abilities, the fact that the heroes have no stupid magic powers that they suddenly acquire, and how solid the storytelling is, and how great the animation is. The villains and struggle was great. They did a great job exploring more of the character's psyche in creative and fun ways. There was definitely a focus on Inosuke, and his development from earlier was shown as he became a much more well-rounded character. The Flame Hashira got a lot of development, as I would expect from his main debut. I went from not caring about him at all, from the little we got to see in the anime, to actually liking him quite a bit over the course of the movie. Despite them and Tanjiro getting the most focus, the others still played important roles, and watching them really be a team together that we didn't get much of in season 1 was really satisfying. The demons weren't as good development-wise as we have seen from others in the series. Demon Slayer tends to give a lot for the antagonists, but there wasn't much for them here. They were still good and very interesting, but I wish I got a little more, especially for the main one. This arc was taken from the manga and follows right after the anime, and it shows. The pacing feels a little strange, as you can feel the few episodes squashed together vibe at some points. It was never an egregious offense, but definitely noticeable. There was at least one moment when something came out of nowhere that felt like a cliffhanger for the end of an episode. Story is always king when it comes to any kind of storytelling genre. However, other aspects are still very important, and Demon Slayer executes those to the highest level. The music was great, a little different and interesting at times, but always making the scene better. The voice acting was top tier. I watched subtitled, so don't know how the dub is. There were some specific moments where I could just hear how much emotion there was in the nuances of the voice acting. I was legitimately impressed. Finally, the most impressive part of this movie, and this is no surprise considering the studio and season 1 of the anime, was the animation. The animation is really, really good. Like, among the best animated movies I've ever seen good. The CGI is the best I've ever seen in anime, which isn't saying much, but they actually do it amazingly to the point you barely notice it except to appreciate how beautiful it is. While the beginning looks like a normal anime and isn't anything too special except for a few sweeping shots to show some intensity of the train's movement and for some character introductions, but by the end, the animators were flexing their skill and budget as the excellently crafted scenes bring an extra layer of emotion that the story would otherwise lack. At the end of the day, Demon Slayer the movie is the same as its anime predecessor, a good story with some amazing wrapping around it. It is by no means trash or boring, and it is not a masterpiece either, but altogether it's a fantastic experience and a wonderful ride that makes me excited for season 2. This is a must-watch for fans of the anime, and I'd recommend it to anyone else who might be interested. Thanks so much for watching. I do a lot of analysis and some comedy content for anime, but sometimes other things too. So if you're interested, subscribe and check out some of my other videos. If you like Demon Slayer, you might like Demon Slayer Explained Badly, which will be with the end cards on this video for you to check out. I'd appreciate it if you would give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and that's all for me. See you next week for another Demon Slayer movie video, and hopefully after that as well. Janya!